and have a goatee. You know, if they're wearing, you know, little fancy thrift store clothes, you got to go a little more polyester, you know, or whatever the theme is. Have a theme. Wear suits one night just to trip people out. We would do that. We'd put on suits that we got at that place in the mall for $30. These really nice white suits, kind of oversized, and you know, we'd show up at LaSalle's and play in suits every once in a while instead of our reggae regalia when I was in the Cornerstone dancehall reggae band. And people be like, "Whoa, man, why are you guys in suits?" No, we just felt like we're in suits. So you have to step it up. You got to, you know, make it a show. I see a lot of bands. Take note, you know, a lot of local bands don't hang out for the headliner, and there's a great opportunity to market and possibly get yourself out there, working with those bands. If you check them out, you're going to learn some things that bands that are out touring are doing on a small level to make themselves better. One is storytelling, keeping it interesting in between the breaks, not talking amongst yourselves. You know, maybe you gotta, what key is this? How's that start again? Whatever. You should have all that stuff worked out. Really cut to the chase. Keep it an entertaining show. You're there to entertain. You're an entertainer. You know, entertainer first, musician second. So combine those two things. It's funny how technical musicians sometimes can get upset at non-technical musicians that have more people come to their show, like Brutilicus. You know, it was like they put on a great show, and they didn't have this. They had some incredible musicians, some of the best musicians, but they also had guys that were just laying it down, and that's what it needed. You know, that's what they were funny. They dressed up, they did crazy skits, they'd spend time. He says, I was talking to John McKinley recently, and he said, you know, they'd be in Tahoe and they'd be like, between gigs, and be like, okay, what are we gonna do tonight? You know, oh, let's take a watermelon and dress it up like a baby seal and club it on stage, you know, with a sledgehammer. Yeah, maybe not that. But, you know, they come up with a gag every night to make it entertaining. And so it's our responsibility to do that. Tell some stories, make it interesting, garner audience participation. I see plenty of bands from out of town do it, plenty of local bands not do it enough. When you get the audience to participate with the band, sing along, this side sing, these guys sing, na 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 na. Sing it, and they sing back. It releases oxytocins, the feel-good drug, makes us all feel better, aligns our brain waves. This is not pie in the sky, new age stuff. This is really what's happening. You're getting a feel-good from it. I've seen bands throw out mini tambourines that cost a nickel a piece and have people bang on tambourines. I've seen people clap, hold up a lighter, hold up a cell phone, bring somebody up from the audience and have them dance on stage or do something even more creative than that. So these are all things that we can do to make it more entertaining. The nature of entertaining has not changed for a long time, and the nature of what we find interesting as humans has not really changed. You could learn a lot from watching MCs going back to Cole Porter and vaudeville days. They knew how to entertain the crowd. My dad's business partner was a band leader from the 30s and 40s, and he had a comeback for every heckle that somebody from the audience could do. So you could turn that around. Somebody says something funny at you, you know, you can get them back in a funny way that makes the whole crowd erupt in laughter. So being prepared for those kind of things, rocking the house when it's empty, because the 5 people that are there are going to remember that. I remember going to Haywan's and there's Mother Hips are playing and there's 6 people, and it was amazing, you know. And then talking to Tim later, wow, man, your shows are so packed. I haven't been in a while. I said, oh man, our shows are so packed now. I don't even know if I'd go if I wasn't in the band. So sometimes those little special nights when there's not a lot of people are cool, but bands will sometimes look down on that situation and not give their best. And obviously if there's more energy reciprocating, it can be a better show, but that takes a while, you know, and it takes a few shows.
Okay, now how about, let's just wrap it up with, you know, it seems to me in Chico every couple of years, everyone I know, if they're still here, they've made some kind of conscious decision to stay again. You know, like an opportunity or something, or they'll get a little frustrated and they'll be like, you know what, and they'll be on the fence, and then they'll be like, you know what, I'm going to stay. why do you live in Chico? Why have you set up shop here?
Yeah, I went through that pretty quick after college because being in music production, the logical thing is to move to LA or to San Francisco or to Nashville or to New York. And I've lived in San Francisco, I've worked in New York, and I really like Chico. I'm a fifth generation Northern Californian. Chico is about the size of my hometown in the Bay Area when I was a kid, so I like the smallness of it. I like getting across town in 5 minutes. I like um, growing old with a group of people that I know, and new people come in, and that's amazing. We've been blessed with all kinds of amazing artists and people moving to town, and some people move away. Well, that's just like anywhere. But to be part of a community for that this long is, something you're just not going to get somewhere else for me, because now I've been here this long. But I stayed because I wanted to boost the Chico music scene, and I felt I could build a company here and make a living and raise a family, and I enjoy this part of Northern California. I always have, and so I just decided to stay and grow with the town and grow my business and grow my market and create a market doing things that didn't even exist when I was in college with equipment that didn't exist when I was in college 25 years ago. So and now I see a lot of my friends who are working with all kinds of amazing people in LA or Nashville, and I work with world-class people here in Chico as well as local people. A lot of the same stuff that they do. I've worked on major films here in Chico. I've done it all, but I don't need to make nearly as much money to be as happy here in Chico, and I spend so much less time in the car. I've probably spent a couple years of my life less driving than most of my friends that live in LA. And just going back to my hometown and doing sound. I worked for a company a few times, and you forget a cable and you have to drive down the 1013 exits and take you 2 hours. In Chico, it's like you can run back and grab it. There's just a million reasons that I enjoy working in Chico, and mostly it's the community, it's the quality of living, it's the lower expenses, but that ties in with the quality of living. The quality of living right now, part of the recession thing, they really did not factor in to the economic well-being of people, the quality of life. They're making more money, but they're working too hard. They're going to start to figure that out, but we figured that out here in Chico. So you can work a little less, spend a little more time being creative, and still have enough money to survive. So that's why I stayed, I think.
Nice.
And now I got people coming from all over to record here. I'm bringing money into the community from other places, so I feel really good about that too.
Yeah, I think that's important. That's the huge angle of this whole project is I feel like in my mind I keep referring to it as cannibalizing our own music and art scene, because we're only going to each other's shows. We're only feeding off each other, and we're not getting people coming up to Chico for the weekends because they know live music's off the chain up here. We don't get people coming up from Sacramento or coming down from Redding as often as we should.
Yeah, and they do to certain venues. I mean, because the big room is sort of the Disneyland of beer, people now come to it and check out a show at the big room. But those are mostly out-of-town bands. But, people do come back and visit Chico that went to school here. Everyone has a soft spot in their heart for Chico. And when they come back, my cousin just came back and, we just went to the Bear and walked around and stuff. And then it was like, oh, there's Allie's playing downtown, There's something cool to do right there. So somehow, yeah, we tie that in more with I don't know what the solution is there, but yeah, to make Chico more of a music town for people that are coming. Yeah, like the way I think of Austin. If I'm going to Austin, I'm going to go see some music. If I'm going to Athens, Georgia, I'm going to go see some music. Portland, Seattle, and although those are bigger markets, but there's a lot of little markets, and I always fancy Chico to be like Athens, Georgia, or Akron, Ohio, where there's the potential for really amazing bands to come out of these little teeny towns, and somehow they've grown themselves together, collectively pushing each other up to the point where some people have great careers and come out of it. It happens here too. So.
Is there anything else you'd like to round it out with?
Not really. Check out my YouTube channel. No.
Yeah, I mean, any kind of little anecdotes or any kind of broad perspective, maybe advice for people playing music in Chico, anything of that?
I heard a guy that I've known for 40 years complaining about the onset of the drum machine during the disco era, and I think if you can't get over the fact that drum machines took your job 40 years ago, you got to be thinking about new avenues to direct your energy horizontally. I have a YouTube channel that just hit 1 million views, and so that's a new creative outlet for me that didn't exist. And for me, it was like, wow, I can put up a 10-hour piece of audio. There was no delivery system for a 10-hour piece of audio up until 2 years ago. I'm blown away by that as an artist, and I'm into this really weird niche noise art thing. But find something else where you can direct your energy and find a fan base. I've got lots of fans all over the world from that, and you can do that with your band too. I heard somebody, the other common complaints from people that are not looking creatively at the possibilities are DJs. You know, people complaining about DJs. Well, there's ways to work with DJs, incorporate that sound into your set. You know, like Delhi to Dublin. Nobody's complaining they have a DJ. They sound amazing with that music going on behind them, spinning a DJ. Your band had a DJ a long time ago. What's the other common complaint? It was just on the tip of my tongue. The DJs, oh crap, drum machines, disco. There's something new people are complaining about. I can't remember, but the idea is to just keep moving forward, and the old days are gone, and we'll be 20 years from now talking about these good old days. So let's just create some new good old days with what we've got now. We've got more amazing technology to do more amazing stuff than we've ever had. There's no excuse not to be working on your masterpiece right now and putting it out there.
That's awesome.